really, the plan now is for all these fighters, Gary, obviously, and Paddy, to kind of jump on the coattails of Katie Taylor. I said today we've kind of done this the wrong way around. Katie Taylor should have headlined on her debut in Ireland, should have fought for a world title in Ireland, but we're thankful that we're here now. And people like Gary and Paddy are going to reap the benefits of that. For Gary, the thing I like about this fight is it's still the level below where we want to be when he headlines, but it's a fight that's going to give him rounds. And I just feel that the last couple of fights, Vasquez, and the two that follow, have just been easy, and they've all gone 1-2 rounds. I think this guy, we'll see, will give him rounds, and I want him to have rounds because he's on the verge now of a serious step. But you need fighters coming through that have the ability to headline the 3 arena. And when you look at those fights coming through, he's number 1 on the list.
Who's on that list next?
Well, you've got fighters from all over Ireland. You've got Gary Cully, obviously you've got Paddy Donovan. Even the Hogan-Metcalf fight is going to be a great fight. We know that Hogan's coming towards the back end of his career, keeping Adjarko, whether you talk about Belfast, Dublin, there's so much talent coming through. And I feel like Katie Taylor said something really nice today, which was, we're bringing big-time boxing back to Ireland. I've never really thought of it like that, because I just thought we're bringing Katie Taylor back to Ireland. But there was a real good feeling there today, wow, boxing's actually back. And there hasn't been a show like this in Ireland for a long, long time. To be here off the goodness of his own heart for no fee is an incredible gesture. I think we should give him a round of applause for that.
I said I'd love to be here, I don't want to be here for free.
Question for Ariel and Eddie. What were your memories from Taylor Serrano, the build-up of Jake Paul and things like that?
For me, it was sitting in the corral next to Jake Paul, just screaming, and I think the thing that stands out is probably the only mega fight that I've been involved with where I actually stood back and just looked around, and that was with her famous ring walk, Katie. And every Katie Taylor fight of magnitude, I will say to her, or say to Brian Pierce, "Have you thought about this song? The Cranberries or whatever it might be." And they always say, she would say to me, "Shut up." And then some other song will come on. And that day, which was like a church song that played, it was just unbelievable. And I've never seen her walk so slow. I remember someone lobbed an Irish flag at me in the face, and I put it around my neck, and I was just looking at Katie Taylor, just walking out so slowly. And it was one of the few fights that I've actually looked back and gone, wow, how did we get here? We're not in Dublin now, we're at Madison Square Garden, it's a setup. And after the fight, in the ring, just, when they said, and still, it was just an amazing feeling. And a little bit, we had a bad night there when AJ fought Ruiz. Katie beat Kassoon that night, but it was like pretty bad memories of that place. And it was nice to get a good one.
Yeah, I love that venue. It means a lot to me. I'm a huge New York Knicks fan, so to see an historic event like that, first time in the 140 plus year history of MSG, 2 women headlining, especially those 2 women. The thing I will never forget was, and you could attest to this, it felt to me like 50-50. Hardcore Puerto Rican fans, hardcore Irish fans, which made for an incredible atmosphere. The chanting, the singing, all that stuff. Up there, like top 5 greatest nights that I've ever, attended personally.
On the card this weekend, is there a plan in place if everything goes well to kind of invest in a next generation of Irish fighter? There's been a lot of excitement with kind of the new pros and amateurs planning to go pro in Ireland at the moment because their biggest complaint is that they feel there's a lack of opportunity for them. So is Matchroom willing to put a plan in place?
Yeah, I think we haven't signed enough, and I don't think any promoter has signed enough young Irish talent from the Olympics, from of that pedigree, World Championship pedigree, for that reason. When you're building a fan base, it's very difficult when there's no shows in Ireland to just bring a fighter over and box him in England and build him there. You can do it. If they're good enough, you'll do it. But you've got fighters that come through. Someone said today about how does the future look for Irish boxing? Fantastic, because you've got so much talent, and you always have. It's not like you're not going to have fighters that are going to have. Now, how far they can go is dependent on them and their team. But you know, even from the female side, I mean, I know Kelly Harrington isn't interested in turning pro. But Amy Broadhurst has achieved so much, and there's other great, you know. I watched a lot of them in the Commonwealth Games. That young Jude Gallagher was there today. I didn't even recognise him today. Had a photo of him and then posted it. But I thought in the Commonwealth Games, wow, that kid can really fight. And you know, I think you've got a great Irish system. Mr. Conlon, who we had a bit of a love-hate relationship with because we were going at each other during the League Wood fight, but I love him and I really respect him. I think he's a great coach, and I think the whole set-up system, amateur system, and it's going to get really interesting. This is a bit deep, but you know, with the whole... Jesus Christ, okay. That was interesting. Okay, can we get that on camera yet? I don't know, because I'll shit myself there. Never seen that before.